Lightweight, lightweight, baby.
Hey, how's it going? This is Danny from Made of Metal, aka Britain's strongest drummer, and in this video we're going to preview the upcoming Pro Strongman League under 80 kilogram competition. But before that, we're going to talk about some of the cool stuff that's been happening recently in the world of the lightweights. First up, it finally happened. After months of people talking it, attempting it, we have our very first 400 kilogram deadlift from a lightweight athlete. Who was the man to do it? The man who came so close in April, Dan Benson. He turned up at a competition in Blackpool on the 27th of August, pulled what turned out to be 401 kilograms in just an outrageous display of strength. You can tell from his reaction that it meant a lot to him to have come so close back in April. He pulled the wool over a lot of our eyes by saying that it was kind of off the table for him. He wasn't going to chase the number, but he said on his social media that he had every intention of going to this competition in Blackpool just to pull the deadlift, and if it felt good, he'd go for the 400, and he did it. It was an amazing feat of strength, possibly one of the best feats of strength in recent memory, at least, if not ever. Let's be honest. Then, sticking with the under 90 kilogram strongmen, we recently crowned the UK's strongest under 90 kilogram athlete, and Gav McNamee continues his Chaos Classic tour of redemption, bagging the win in a convincing victory, with second place going to the Honey Badger Mark Cummins and third place going to Neil Anderson. And when I say it was a convincing victory for Gav, I mean it. He didn't place lower than second in any event throughout the whole competition, though Mark Cummins put in a tremendous effort on the super yoke, running 360 kilograms in just over 13 seconds. Neil Anderson, he managed to bag an event win as well. He was the only man on the day to press 130 kilograms overhead in the first event, the max log. And congratulations are also in order for the small man with the big mouth, Jack Renison, in an act of redemption of his own. He stepped up, and after failing a WHEA axle overhead world record attempt back in July due to injury, returned to the platform this past weekend and managed to put 122 kilograms overhead, setting a world record in both the under 85 kilogram weight class and the under 100 kilogram weight class. Well done. But I don't think he's happy leaving it there. Rumour is he is going to attend the UKNS record-setting event, which is taking place at Northern Strength Performance on the 4th of November, and we might finally get the head-to-head that we've all been waiting for, the overhead head-to-head between Jack Renison and Matt Neese. I personally can't wait for the whole thing to be done and dusted. If you've been following it on social media, you know it's been entertaining to say the least. So let's hope at least one of them. Well, I suppose the UKNS, we haven't got any world records yet, so one of them is going to set a world record. But who's going to put up the biggest total? Place your bets now. Okay, so on to the main event. Earlier this year, we had the very first competition for the newly named Pro Strongman League, formerly Clash on the Coast, for the under 64 ladies, and what a competition it was. But coming up on the 9th of September at Huntington Beach, California, it is the turn of the under 80 kilogram men. This competition will be live streamed, and it will be live streamed free on YouTube via the Valor and Venom YouTube channel. Competition kicks off at 1 PM PST. That's about 8 PM British time. Athlete-wise, we have representation from some of the best in the under 80 kilogram class. Let's go through the names of the people that will be competing. we've got Dean McVie, Dylan Thompson, Josh Kovalevsky, Rich Panganaban, Ross Remillard, Jeremy Schell, Daniel Balderrama, Brendan Maxner, Caden Thorsted, Tommy Chivers, Lewis Blackwood, Andrew Keys, and William Murray. So we have a decent amount of British representation at this competition in the form of Dean McVie, Lewis Blackwood and Andrew Keys, who qualified through the Clash in the UK qualifier, which happened back in December, and Tommy Chivers was extended a special invite to go over and compete. Events wise, these athletes have the following tests of strength ahead of them, starting off with an axle press ladder starting at, I'm going to talk in kilograms mostly, about 108 kilograms, 115 kilograms and 125 kilograms, 4 reps until the time runs out. In pounds, that's 235, 255 and 275. Forgive me, I'm going to be doing that a lot for the next couple of minutes, you know, pounds and kilograms and all that. Now, in terms of this event, we've got lots and lots of strong presses in this lineup. So I would imagine that most guys are going to make it to that 125 to rep it out. Although I think it could cause an issue for one or two. So I'm not sure I would expect every single athlete in this lineup to make it to the 125. But those that do are sure to make light work of it. Then we have a basket deadlift, which starts at around 180 kilograms, 400 pounds. And weight is added, I think in the form of like barrels, about 20 kilograms or 45 pounds per weight jump for maximum reps. This sounds like a really cool event, and we've got some really strong deadlifters in this lineup, so I'm looking forward to see how it looks on the day. Third event is a yoke into sandbag medley. The yoke is going to weigh around 317 kilograms or 700 pounds, and the bag is 240 pounds, so just over 100 kilograms, kind of close to 110 kilograms. Now, having done this event myself, albeit much lighter, I know that this is an absolute killer. But this event could be one where the British athletes have a bit of an advantage, because we've seen variations of this event quite a few times in competitions domestically since that clash in the UK in December. Most recently, Britain's Strongest Man, albeit it was 1 yoke run and 2 sandbags. I think a lot of the guys, or certainly the guys that competed at Britain's Strongest Man that are going over to the US in Dean, Andrew Keys and Tommy Chivers, will have learned a lot from that event. I wonder if we'll see anyone shouldering the bags to make sure of the load, because it's the first 2 legs, the yoke and then the first sandbag, not too bad. It's the yoke and then that second sandbag run back is the real killer that really saps your energy. So we could see different tactics employed to maximize time in this event. Fourth event is a frame carry. It's 272 kilograms thereabouts, or 600 pounds. This is going to be quick. I can see some ridiculously fast times on this event, and there's one athlete that we'll talk about a little bit later that is probably gunning for the win. Probably that he wants the win on this event. And the final event is a stone over bar with the athletes head to head. The stone is going to weigh 140 kilograms or about 310 pounds. It's the same finishing event we saw in the under 64 ladies competition. It was a very cool looking setup, and it was cool to watch, but the rules, personally, I think I might have been out of the room while they were going through the rules, but I found them difficult to pick up as I was watching the event. So hopefully the rules are made explicitly clear to us, the viewers at home. So we know the events and we know the names of the people that are going to be there, but let's take a closer look at some of the athletes that are probably going to do quite well, starting with Britain and Europe's strongest under 80 kilogram man, Dean McVie. He is walking into this competition with momentum. This is going to be kind of a litmus test for the official Strongman Games World Championships, because we've got quite a few Americans that have done well at the official Strongman Games historically that are going to be there. So this will be Dean's chance to test himself against quite a few of the people that he's going to be testing himself against at the OSG World Championships later in the year. Hopefully the travel, the weight cut doesn't take too much out of him and he's able to perform at full capacity, because the run he's on at the minute, it's very difficult to not see him occupying one of the positions on the platform at the end of the competition. One of the athletes that's not going to make it easy for Dean is Josh Kovalevsky. He placed second at the Arnold Amateur Strongman competition last year, and this year he took the win. He also placed fifth at the official Strongman Games 2022, taking an event win on the Viking press with, I think it was 16 reps. It was a crazy performance. And you know he's going to be coming into this competition with his eyes firmly on that top spot on the podium. Rich Panganaban is a former World's Strongest Man under 80 kilogram title holder. He placed second in the competition last year with Dean McVie just behind in third, and he has been quiet. Certainly publicly on social media, he's been very quiet. I can't find any competitions he's done since OSG last year. I can't find any of his training, so who knows what condition he's going to be walking into this competition in. He was part of the Clash of the 80s lineup last year and suffered an injury, so hopefully he's healthy, happy, and if that's the case, coming into this competition, he is so consistently good, performing across the board, that again, this is another guy you would be foolish to overlook for the podium. Sticking with athletes that are returning from the Clash of the 80s lineup last year, we have Jeremy Schell, who last year provided me with one of my personal highlights watching the competition as a spectator. It was the bag toss for maximum height. I think the bag was about 15 kilograms. Jeremy was going for 17 foot. He missed the first attempt, missed the second attempt. Commentary said that that was it. He was done. He wasn't going to do it. And on the third go, boom, straight over. Poetic timing there. It was absolutely fantastic. Also returning is Ross Remillard. He walked away from last year. I don't think he was too happy with his performance. So he is coming into this competition hungry. His training is looking good. He's looking very strong. Let's hope he improves on his position from last year. Tommy Chivers received a relatively late invitation to this competition, but he's absolutely not going there just to make up the numbers. He is the one to watch on the frame carry. In his past few competitions, in the farmers events, we've had speed, we've had max distance. He is unbeaten. He set a blistering time at Britain's Strongest Man this year. I believe the handles were 125 kilograms, 30 meters. He did it in 16 seconds. I think I'm remembering that correctly. That's outrageous. So I'm expecting, as soon as the whistle has gone, Tommy is down the other end of the track, put the frame down and celebrating. So yeah, definitely one to watch on that event in particular. And sticking with the Brits, we have Lewis Blackwood, who is unquestionably one of the best deadlifters in the under 80 kilogram class. He has said to me that his ambition is to pull 400 kilograms raw as an under 80 kilogram athlete. He's kind of put that on hold for this competition, but I'm expecting him to do really well on this basket deadlift. It's not going to be exactly the same as a conventional deadlift, but he has got the power, he has got the fire, he's got the intensity. I think that's an event where he could do really, really well. Quinn Ramasco and Dylan Thompson have OSG pedigree. They both landed within the top 10 at the 2022 competition, and there are athletes that I am less familiar with, the likes of William Murray, the likes of Caden Thorsted. So I'm really looking forward to see how these athletes that I am less familiar with sit within such an insanely talented lineup. In terms of predictions, this is going to be quite tough to call, but I think I've got my top three in my head. I mentioned them at the top of the athlete rundown there. I think the podium is going to be Dean McVie, Rich Panganaban and Josh Kovalevsky. Just which order I'm going to stick my neck out, and I'm going to put Rich Panganaban at the top, Dean McVie and Josh Kovalevsky. Who knows what will happen at the competition, but let me know what your predictions are in the comments below. Is there anyone that I overlooked? There often is. These predictions are sometimes just based on instinct more than anything else. So no disrespect at all to anyone else competing. I'm just looking forward to watching a really fun competition. So there we have it. There is my preview of the Pro Strongman League under 80 kilogram pro show happening September the 9th, Huntington Beach, California, being broadcast for free on YouTube via the Valor and Venom YouTube channel, starting at 1 PM PST, 8 PM British time. Are you going to be watching? Let me know. I'll be back very soon with a recap of what happened. I've been Danny from Made of Metal, aka Britain's Strongest Drummer. If you liked the video, please share, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you real soon.